Alright, this is US culture based on Hofstede's 6 cultural dimensions. So the first one is the power distance. In this film, I found that it was a low power distance. I found a specific example at 341. So in this example, Todd's boss tells him that he needs to go to India to work and keep his job, basically. In the scene, Todd vents his frustration and tells him he's not going. This illustrates low power distance because in the US, employees are encouraged to challenge higher ups and express their opinions and expect a level of equality. The next one, individualism versus collectivism. I found that there was high individualism in this film. And this one, timestamp's wrong, but this was also found around 3 minutes 30 seconds. So in this scene where he's being sent to India, he obviously says he doesn't want to. This displays high individualism because Todd cares more about how this will affect him personally versus how it'll affect his company. He's not happy about the move and thus helping the company. He only wants to keep his job versus to help the company, basically. The next one, uncertainty avoidance. In this scene, in timestamp 2202, I found that in the film there's low uncertainty avoidance. In this scene, Todd is forced to adapt and overcome a cultural shock moment when he realizes he needs to use his fingers instead of toilet paper. This proves my point because in the US culture, it is usually associated with risk-taking and the ability to adapt. In this scene, he adapts and learns how to use the bathroom on the fly. The next one, masculinity versus femininity. I found that there is a moderate masculinity in this film towards the US culture. In this timestamp at 27:53. This example is seen as Todd is forced to work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. He has to train these employees that are very hard to train due to cultural differences. This aligns with masculinity because a masculine person values success and achievement over other things. Todd is forced to overcome the many differences that they have to achieve success in order to keep his job. The next one, long-term orientation versus short-term orientation. I found that there is short-term orientation for the US characters in this film. In this timestamp, another one around 325. You can be seen where Todd's boss says that they're outsourcing operations to India. They do this so they only have to pay $11,000 instead of several times more to the US workers. This will in turn result in short-term profits rather than sustainable growth of the company. This illustrates that the company is focused on the short term. Indulgence versus restraint categories. I found that there's high indulgence in timestamp 4620. Todd is going over workplace environment. His employees ask questions like, can they have doormats, things on their desks, wear whatever, and he says yes, and they're really surprised. And this proves that US has a culture that favors high indulgence versus India, where it's very strict, and the workers there are very surprised, so they they didn't know that it was kind of like an obvious question. Anyways,